Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jose Ortiz again. We're back at it. So today on the stream, I thought I'd go over something a little bit different today. So instead of going over like pure graphic design fundamentals and things, I'm gonna be working on sort of like a project, like a commission project, with a different student. So somebody that's part of U Media at downtown Hartford. And what I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna set it up so that you guys can actually just see my desktop, and that way it'll allow me to basically show you guys, because I don't know how Premiere Pro is gonna show up on here. So display capture. Okay, and let me resize the stream for you guys. That works. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be working in Premiere Pro. I'm basically gonna go over a short video edit with you guys. So this person wants to do videos, and they have their intro animation for their videos. But what they're looking to do is they're looking to add some words underneath the animation. So that's what we'll be doing today. Now I'm gonna be working in Premiere Pro. But you could probably do this on any other software, Final Cut Pro, probably even iMovie, to be honest. We're going to be doing something very simple. So I'm going to go to File, New, Project. And I'm just going to move this into this screen here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to title this Hood Star. That's the name of the animation. And I'm going to put it in a new folder under commissions, new folder, and we're going to title this Hood Star. Well, I do my things all caps. All right, and I'm going to title this Hood Star underscore intro animation. And I'm going to hit OK. All these settings here are fine. If you're using a Mac, I think you just want to use the metal version, and it'll always be there, I think, because it's the recommended version. But that's basically your video render playback engine. We're gonna hit OK, and hopefully this thing should open up as so. I'm gonna resize this. All right, so here we are. This is how Premiere looks basically when you open it. Right now we have no sequence and we have no footage to make into our sequence. So I'm gonna go over a couple things with you. First things first is we want to import our footage. So these are just basically menu sections, and they each everything's modular, so you can move it all around. I'm gonna focus on this section, and we're gonna be working on the project. This tab, this is project. This holds all your footage. I'm just gonna bring it up. I like mine to be up here. And if we just needed to see better what we were doing, we could just go like this. Right click, and we're gonna go to import. And this is gonna be my downloads folder, and it's called Hood Star. And we're basically gonna be importing. We could import both of these files. Individual layers. I'm gonna hit merge all layers for now. This is basically telling me, because you can import Photoshop files, and what's interesting is that if you're say you're working on something that you want to animate, like, and bring it into After Effects in Photoshop, all those layers you can import them as layers into Premiere Pro or After Effects. But for now, since we're not going to be actually editing the animation, which is going to be adding to the animation. I'm going to leave this alone and just make sure it's on merge all layers. Oh, excuse me. All right, so now the next thing that we have to do is we have to add a sequence. There's two ways of doing this. You can take your footage and drag it and drop it in this timeline section, but what that will do is that it'll make a sequence according to the settings of your footage. The reason why we don't want to do this for this situation is because the settings on that animation, I don't necessarily know what they are, but they can also be less. It can be smaller than like HD 1080p, for example, resolution, and that just doesn't work as well when you're doing videos. It's like especially music videos, because the resolution is usually at 1080p or HD definition. So I'm gonna actually make a sequence that is music video compatible, like YouTube compatible, like basically a standard HD video, and I'm basically gonna drag the animation in there and edit it. So you'll see in this same section where we're at, you just right click any open space and hit new item, sequence, and I have a custom sequence name, music video 1080, but you can honestly do it by going to like HDV and selecting HDV 1080p. 24 frames would be your standard basic format for American, like US based footage. We'll do some looking into that on another video, like different codecs and things like that. But for right now, all you need to know is that in the US, most of the stuff that you're seeing on TV is based on 24 frames per second. And it's actually 23.976 frames per second, but we just round it off and call it 24 frames per second. For right now, that's basically what we would do. I'm just going to use mine, just out of comfort. I'm going to call this Hood Star Intro Animation. And I'm just going to add underscores, just because I like it for my organization. So right after you hit OK, you'll notice that your timeline is now populated with these different inputs and outputs. We have all the V's stand for video, all the A's stand for audio. So what we'll do is we'll bring in our animation. It says this clip does not match the sequence settings. Change sequence to match the clip settings. We're gonna hit keep existing settings, and what that's gonna tell us is that keep what we just made, add the video in there. All right, and the reason why I gave us that is because, like what I thought, the resolution of that animation is actually smaller than the video, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Only if we were, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just gonna make it easier to edit when we export it if we work in the actual format that we're gonna be shooting in, or even trying to export it to, which is HD. As you could tell, there's no background in this sequence, so we'll have to make one. To do that, we're gonna go up to File, New, and we'll go down to Color Matte. We'll leave all these settings the same. Basically, what Premiere does is that if you ever hit Color Matte, is it gonna basically want to start with the settings that match your sequence. So all it's telling us is that we're gonna make a color matte the size of 1920 by 1080, and it's gonna be based on 23.976 frames per second. There is 24 frames. If you use that other format when we were talking about sequences, remember there's the HDV 1080p. If you use that and it's because it had 24 next to it, you would click 24 here. The flip side to that is that this number would just match your sequence. So this number would probably already say 24, and you would just hit OK either way. So that's okay. And then, sorry, I'm using a separate screen, so all my other things are popping up over here. Now you pick the color. Oh, excuse me. You pick the color of your color map. I'm just gonna hit black, and you can title a name for it. I'm just gonna say black background. So BG is short for background. We're gonna hit OK, and it's gonna go underneath there. And I'll just make it the same length as the animation. So let's watch this. All right. So for all intents and purposes, that's literally working how we want it to work. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save for now. I'm gonna resize some of these windows. So the next thing that we want to do is that we want to add some words underneath here. So to do that, we'll go up to File, New, and we'll need to title it Legacy Title. So we'll click that, and we'll need to name it. I'm just gonna name it Visuals because I think that's what literally what we're putting underneath there, and I can confirm that. Yeah, so it's just gonna be Visuals. Visuals right underneath. So now what's gonna pop up is our window to edit basically text. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna X this out really quickly, just because I want to know, you know, hood right there. I could have put the words right underneath there, but it would have been blocked as soon as the star comes up. So I'm gonna go basically right here, and that's gonna tell me that my words can go underneath this. I'm just gonna make sure my T is selected for the text box, and we're gonna click and drag. And I'm gonna make it the size of the inner square. No particular reason. You can start at the outer square and go to the outer square. We're just gonna make this centered. And I'm gonna use basically a font that I think matches this or has some sort of relationship to this. We can try using Couture. I'm just gonna type Visuals. Right now everything's coming out super caps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that my cap settings are set correctly. Interesting. Let's see if I make it small. It just seems like the font itself comes out as all caps. So we're just gonna leave it like that for now. I might change the font that I'm using. No. We could try Caslon, which has a definitely like a literary feel to it. I think it's gonna be under Adobe Caslon Pro. Yeah. just playing with some of these font settings. So I'm trying to give this like a movie feel, but like this really spaced out look. It might need to be like smaller. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm giving it like the spaced out look, and I'm just giving the letters, sort of spacing them out almost as much as the biggest width there is. Alright, let's see how that looks. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag visuals in there. Actually, I'm going to move this video up by 1 just so I can fit it underneath there, because I don't want it behind the background. I want it in front of the background. Oh, I might need this actually on top of. There we go. Alright, I'm going to, this length here, I'm going to drag it closer to the end length of the entire animation. What I'm going to do now is, you see this section on the bottom over here? I'm going to hit this window and I'm going to go over to effects. I'm going to go to video transitions, and I'm probably just going to do dissolve, and I'm going to just hit additive dissolve. I just want to see how that looks. So there it is, and it comes in just like that. I'm going to do this one more time with the animation, but I'm going to make it smaller. Alright, so what I did there, let's go back one step. What I did was I'm going to put another transition on the actual animation, and I'm going to use an additive dissolve. Basically that means is that you're adding the video to whatever is underneath it. In this case, it's just a black background. So I'm going to add it to the animation, but I don't want it to take so long, and I want the animation to actually come up first before the visuals comes in. You know, I want you to see the logo start to get animated, and then I want visuals to push in. If you look, both the dissolves, if you click on these two parts here, they're the same length, which means they're coming in at the exact same time. So what I did was, let me just click on the animation transition and drag it in with the red. When that red bracket shows up, you can drag it. Just drag it in ever so slightly so that it's just a quick fade in. Boom. And we could actually see what that looks like bigger if we just bring down this window. Let's go back out. We're gonna hit save, and we're gonna hit play. We're gonna try that one more time and see how it looks. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. One more time. Alright. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. We'll have to see what the client, you know, the student client likes, if he's filling it out. I'm just watching it. Yeah, I like it, but that's my own preference, you know. So what I'm gonna do really quickly is I'm gonna just see. All right, so let's start. It already comes with its own black background. I'm just gonna give it the black background like that, just so that it's all set. and I'm actually gonna leave it alone, like this, because it might be up to the videographer whether he wants to fade it out, whether he just wants to jump into the next clip. Be it a performance shot, be it the song. So I might just leave it like that, honestly, and just boom. So there you have it. Today was just really simple. Just going over how do you add these certain elements in video editing itself. Um, this was a fairly easy example because we're dealing with an animation that was already made. Fun fact: if you guys want to do animations like this, we actually have a mentor that works on this specific stuff. His name is Mark. He also streams. Get in touch with me at jortiz@hplct.org. Send me an email. I'll be happy to connect you guys. Um, if we get some time next week, I might just do something like this with you guys. I might just go over an animation. I know this is a this is a stream about graphic design and stuff, but I also do touch a little bit of these other areas like video editing and animation, just not as much. The upside to that is that it means we get to work out these problems together. So I don't have all the answers. I'm not coming into this like, oh, I know exactly how everything works on Premiere Pro or After Effects, because I don't. But it's more like showing you guys the willingness to learn and get out there and try something, rather than just being like, I don't know, how to work this thing. I don't think this is for me. Part of getting active in these sort of fields is just putting yourself out there, doing what you can with what you have, and seeing how it works. So one more time, we're just going to show this animation. Hoodstar Visuals. This is basically an animated logo for somebody that wants to do videography, for a student client. If you guys send me an email, once again, at jortiz@hplct.org, we'll be able to do stuff like this. So, you send me what you want to work on, be it a file, if you already have one, a logo, if you already have one, or a drawing, whatever it might be, and I work with you guys to sort of make it come to life. So yeah, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. It's been great. I'm Jose, and one love. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you guys so much.